Hello, so you've recently purchased the Focusrite Forte USB audio interface and you want to begin recording music. I'm going to take you through all of the necessary setup steps, including how to use the touch mode menus so that you can record with an instrument and a condenser microphone. Before you contact a support team, make sure you go through all of these steps and we're confident you won't need any further assistance. First, let's have a look at what's inside the box. Inside the box, you get the Forte interface itself, and underneath this compartment, you get the power supply, a USB cable, and the breakout cable. The breakout cable is essential for connecting microphones and instruments to the Forte. There's a getting started guide and a card. Now the card contains the bundle code necessary for receiving the free software that comes with your Forte, and that's the Midnight plugin suite. Now before we get set up, I'd like to highlight a few important points regarding the power supply and the USB cable that come in the box. Always ensure you're using the correct power supply that comes in the Forte's box. This is an AC adapter with an input of 100 to 240 volts and an output of 5 volts 3000 milliamps. Using the wrong power supply for certain units can damage them beyond repair, so just double check that. And similarly, use the USB cable that comes in the Forte box. If you use a longer USB cable or connect to a hub that then connects to your computer, you might experience dropouts or performance issues, so just double check those things. First, we need to register the unit, so I'm going to take you through that now. So as per the card I just showed you, we need to visit the website www.focusrite.com/register. So I'm using Google Chrome here. You might be using an internet browser called Safari or Mozilla Firefox or Internet Explorer if you're on PC. But I'm going to be using Google Chrome and I need to enter the URL now. And I don't have an account, so I'm going to click on Don't Have an Account. And I'm going to enter my personal details now. And country of residence. And a memorable password. And then enter the code in the box. And click on Register. If you need more time to fill out these fields, pause the video and resume once you've filled everything in. So now you can see in my account, I've got my name, country, email address, and email verified. It says no here. So we need to verify our email address now. Click on the link and an email will have been sent to our email address. So I need to log in. I'm using Gmail, so I'm going to visit Gmail. And I'm going to log in. And as you can see in my inbox, I've got an email from Focusrite. In order to verify your email, please click on the following link. So we need to click on that link there. So now you can see email verified. Yes, it is. So that's great. Now what we need to do is register our product. So on this link here, I'm going to click that. And in this drop down menu, I'm going to select the product. Now, why do we need to register the product? To access any free software and activation codes that come with your product, ensure you have the latest drivers, software and firmware, receive information about software, drivers and firmware updates, and control your contact preferences. So I'm going to click on Get My Stuff. So now we need to enter the code on the bottom of the card that we were referring to earlier on. So I'm going to do that now. And I'm going to include the date of purchase here and where the product was purchased as well. When you're ready, click on Submit. So now you can see our product is registered. So you can see the Forte there. We also have free bundled software, the Midnight plugin suite, and the activation code is here. We'll need that a bit later on. So now what we also need to install is the Forte control software. So what we need to do is click on this link here. So now we need to install the Midnight plugin suite and the Forte control software. So what we'll do is we'll click on the .dmg for Mac because we're on a Mac. If you're on a PC, simply install the .exe. I'm going to click on that. And I'm also going to click on the Forte control software as well. So these two installers will arrive here in the Downloads tab. They'll also appear in our Finder and Downloads folder. So the installers will appear here. Just going to close this. After we install the Forte control software, you're prompted to restart your Mac so that the installation can complete. So what I'm going to do first is install the Midnight plugin suite and then install the Forte control software. So once that's complete, simply click on it and minimize your web browser. Here, as you can see, a folder appears with installmidnight.pkg. We need to double click on that. Now the installer will load. So click on continue, continue again, and begin the installation. Agree to the licensing agreement and click on install. Enter your Mac password. And the installation will begin. If you need more time, again, pause the video and resume once your installation is complete. So now we need to go back to our web browser and click on the Forte Control installer. So I'm going to do that and again, minimize my web browser. Double click on the .pkg file and continue through the installation. Agree to the licensing agreement and install it. When this software finishes installing, you must restart your computer as we discussed. So click on Continue Installation. So the installation is successful and now we need to restart the Mac. So we'll reconvene after the Mac's restarted. So now that our Mac's restarted, we need to activate the Midnight plugin suite in Cubase. So I'm going to load Cubase and then load an instance of one of the Midnight plugins and go through the activation process. So I'm going to open an empty project and I'm going to right click on this space here and add an audio track. And click on Add Track. And then in Inserts here, I'm going to load an instance of the Midnight compressor. As you can see, we've got three options here: demo mode, buy, or activate. We've got a license, so we need to just simply click on Activate. Now we're taken to the Focusrite eStore page where we can register our Midnight plugin suite and activate the plugins themselves. So fill out your personal details. Enter your operating system, in this case Mac OS X, and your country. And then click into the activation code field here. So now we need to go back to our account page in the Focusrite website. And as you can see, we've got our Midnight plugin suite activation code here. So we need to highlight that And as we're on a Mac, I'm going to press Command and C to copy and Command and V to paste. If you're using a PC, use Control and C to copy and Control and V to paste. So we go back to the eStore page, click into the activation code field and press Command and V to paste that. Now click on Submit. If you need more time, please pause the video and resume once you've filled everything in. Software activation is successful. Your software license has been emailed to your email address, and it also appears in the Downloads tab here. Also, you can locate it by opening a Finder window, clicking on Downloads, and you'll see the .fnlf license file appears here. So we need to remember where that location is. So now we go back into Cubase, and we need to install this license. So click on Install License. And now we need to go to our Downloads folder and locate the .fnlf file. So click on that, click on Select, enter your Mac password, and the plugins are unlocked. Now we need to connect the Forte to our computer via USB. Also, we need to plug in the power supply. The power supply is crucial for sending phantom power to microphones which require a power source. I'm using a condenser microphone which requires a power source. I also need to plug in the breakout cable. On a mic input 1, I'm going to plug in the XLR cable from the mic. And on line input 2, or instrument input 2, I'm going to connect the jack lead of the guitar. So now we've got the microphone going on channel 1 and the guitar going into channel 2. Now we need to set up phantom power for the microphone. By pressing the input icon once, I can toggle between input 1 and input 2. Pressing it once here, input 1, and pressing it again, input 2. So we want to add phantom power to input 1, so I'm going to press it back to input 1, and then I'm going to press and hold it to access further options for that input. So the type of input between mic, line and inst, and to toggle through these you press the control knob. So now I'll select mic, and below this is plus 48V or phantom power. So press it again and turn phantom power on. You can also add high pass filter, phase reverser signal, or add a pad. Pressing the input icon again, and once more I access input 2. I press and hold to access further options, and I want to select inst. You can select the line input source as well, but as it's an instrument, we'll select inst. You'll see the 48V or phantom power is grayed out because the instrument doesn't require a power source. Similarly, in the control software, I can simply click on 48V and add phantom power on either input, or I can select which type of input I want from mic, line or instrument. But these are correct, so I'm going to leave them as they are. Now I need to sound check, so I'm going to ask my artist to play both guitar and sing at the same time and adjust the levels so nothing's clipping. So now Joe's playing guitar for me. I can press the input icon to select input 2 where the guitar's coming in, and I can turn down the input gain to stop it from going into the red. A nice constant green signal is a healthy signal. Repeat this process for the microphone input. To control the monitor volume, press the speaker icon and move the wheel to increase or decrease accordingly. To control the headphone mix to the artist, press the headphone icon and adjust the volume. To access the preferences of either menu, press and hold the speaker icon, and you'll see mute, dim, mono, clear meter and exit for both options. So now that we've got a microphone connected to input 1 of the Forte and a guitar connected to input 2, and we've done our level checks to ensure nothing's clipping, we need to create 2 channels to record onto in Cubase, and we also need to set the Forte as the input and output device. So we'll do that first. I need to go to the Devices menu here and select Device Setup. Now click on VST Audio System, and in this drop-down menu here, we need to select Forte. Switch to the ASIO driver and then click on OK. Now we need to create 2 channels, so right click and select Add Audio Track. We need to increase the count to 2 and make sure they're mono channels. So click on Add Track, and we've now got 2 mono channels here. The first one we need to ensure is set to stereo in left, and the second one we need to ensure is set to stereo in right. Now simply record on both channels, and in the transport panel here, click on Record, and your artist can begin playing.
Free your mind for questions only you can find. Enclose your life with mirrors to keep in the light.
Now that I've recorded audio into my DAW, I can use the Forte to control my session in various ways. If I press the DAW icon, I can take control of whatever the mouse is resting over by turning the control knob. For example, in the mixer mode, if I rest the mouse over the fader, then move the control knob, it takes control of the fader. Also, by pressing the control knob, I can play and stop my session. To change these features, press and hold the DAW icon and choose from an available list. So here I'm going to change the rotation to zoom and the press feature to record. Press the DAW icon, and now when I move the control knob, it zooms, and when I press it, it records. Just in case you do experience any problems with the Forte, you can restore the factory defaults. So click on File and then simply click on Restore Factory Defaults. So by now you should be happily recording and monitoring your session. If you have any problems whatsoever, please contact our support team. Thanks a lot for watching.